Good morning, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, and most importantly, students, their family, and friends. I'm Dr. George Folk, the director of the physical therapy program, and I'm pleased to welcome you to the white coat ceremony for the Doctor of Physical Therapy class of 2028. The faculty and staff of the program are thrilled to be able to celebrate this moment with you, your families, and classmates. I personally am especially excited to be a part of this celebration that is an important milestone along your journey to becoming a physical therapist. The white coat ceremony is a relatively new phenomenon in the health professions education, having originated in the early 1990s. Well, probably for most of you that's not too early because you probably weren't born then, but I'm dating myself a little bit here. It symbolizes a student's transition from learning basic science content into the clinical sciences, which you have started this semester. So next I'd like to introduce Dr. Kathleen Geist, our Assistant Program Director, who will lead the program from here.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Folk. The faculty and staff are thrilled to have this wonderful opportunity to invite your parents, friends, and family to campus, and it is now my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Mrs. Carmen Paul. It's an honor to welcome Ms. Carmen Paul as a respected leader in rehabilitation therapy and a cornerstone of Emory Healthcare's commitment to excellence in patient care, professional development, and interdisciplinary collaboration. Ms. Paul currently serves as the Rehabilitation Multi-Site Director for Emory Healthcare, overseeing rehabilitation services across 3 hospitals and multiple outpatient clinics. Throughout her distinguished career, she has demonstrated exceptional leadership, designing innovative rehabilitation programs, strengthening clinical education partnerships, and guiding teams through system-wide initiatives that improve patient mobility, safety, and outcomes. Ms. Paul is not only a skilled clinician and administrator, but also a dedicated mentor and advocate for the next generation of physical therapists. She has played an instrumental role in residency education, staff development, and creating pathways for career advancement within Emory rehabilitation teams. Her work reflects a deep commitment to service, collaboration, and the empowerment of both patients and clinicians. We are thrilled to have Ms. Paul share her insight and inspiration with our first-year DPT students as they step into this meaningful milestone of their professional journey. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mrs. Carmen Paul.
Well, thank you all for having me today. As a baseball fan, I feel like I needed some walk-up music after that introduction, but here we are. Good morning, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, the Emory University Doctor of Physical Therapy class of 2028. Thank you, faculty, for inviting me to celebrate this milestone with all of you. It is an incredible honor and a bit outside of my comfort zone, honestly, to stand before you here today at your white coat ceremony. Today is not only a celebration of your academic achievement, it is a moment of transition, a point of entry, a quiet but powerful declaration that you are stepping into a profession grounded in science, guided by compassion, and defined by science. When you put on that white coat today, it represents far more than the coursework you've completed. It represents responsibility, curiosity, trust, and the privilege of walking beside people during some of the hardest and most transformative moments of their lives. I'd like to take a moment to share a little bit of my journey with you. Don't worry, I won't be too long. Like many of you, my journey wasn't linear. I was raised here in Atlanta from a long lineage of Atlanta natives. After high school, I traveled just 80 miles east to the University of Georgia in Athens. Beautiful place. Go Dogs. And back then, Athens became familiar and comfortable. It began to feel like home. I had mentors who believed in me and peers who pushed me. And even though we weren't the powerhouse football Bulldogs you know today, football season was still amazing. But growth rarely happens in comfort. So at the end of college, I made the decision to leave the South and apply to PT schools in the Midwest. I was accepted into a top 10 program, much like yours here at Emory. You know, if I was going to leave Georgia, it had to be somewhere equally amazing. The move to Chicago was more than geographic. It was cultural, professional, and personal. Chicago was bigger, faster, and much, much colder. There were so many museums, many colleges, and I don't know if you guys remember, probably not, but the Chicago Bulls were winning with Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman. So Chicago was amazing. But I moved there knowing no one. And I'll admit, I was scared to embark on this journey. But I had a goal, so I knew I had to adapt quickly. First, I had to learn to layer up so I didn't freeze to death walking to class. And like many of you, I had to learn how to study, and I mean really study. Memorize, make up songs, phrases, write down things over and over, every technique I could think of, and I'm sure each of you can relate. I learned to ask questions, to listen closely, and enunciation became a part of my curriculum because this Southern accent didn't always translate so well in the Midwest. But putting myself in that uncomfortable space, far from home in a demanding PT program, was one of the best decisions I ever made. It taught me something that I hope you'll carry with you. Your growth as a physical therapist will not come from standing still. It will come from stretching yourself beyond what feels safe. And so now I'd like to share 5 reflections that I've learned along my journey to help guide you on yours. Reflection number 1 is to be inquisitive. Physical therapy is rooted in science, but it is driven by curiosity. You will find yourself asking, why isn't my patient progressing as expected? Why does this intervention work for this person, but not this one? Why does pain look like this? Why is function limited here? Your degree will give you the knowledge, but your questions will make you exceptional. Healthcare is evolving rapidly. Research, technology, and clinical practice are changing constantly. What you learned last semester may shift 5 years from now. The best clinicians aren't the ones who memorize protocols. They're the ones who stay curious and remain lifelong students. Throughout my career, I learned that what worked in one setting or with one patient didn't always translate to another. I had to ask questions, continue to read literature, talk to providers, and sometimes say, I don't know, but I'll find out. Curiosity is professionalism. Be the clinician who reads the new study, who challenges outdated assumptions, and who asks your patients what matters most to them before setting goals. Wear your white coat with curiosity. Reflection number 2, be adaptable. If the past few years have taught us anything, is that healthcare and people don't stand still. You will work with patients who have complex histories, shifting diagnoses, social determinants, cultural differences, and unexpected barriers that will impact care. You may begin PT school convinced you want to focus on outpatient orthopedics and find yourself drawn to pediatrics, geriatrics, or like me, acute care instead. Adaptability doesn't mean abandoning your goals. It means letting your experiences refine them. A few years ago, you may remember when the world changed during the pandemic. Our work in acute care changed instantly. Elective surgeries stopped, hospital census dropped. Staff feared for their health at home and especially at work. Our patients were critically ill and often alone. My team and I had to adapt using technology to connect families with loved ones, learning tasks outside our typical PT world, joining the team of turning patients in the intensive care units, helping in food and environmental services, and even security. Eventually, I was forced to take on a completely different role: staffing, scheduling, and logistics. I didn't learn any of that in PT school, by the way. But I had to learn new skills, and with them became new pressures. But through all that adaptation, I became a better therapist and a better leader. In physical therapy, adaptability also means adjusting treatment when progress stalls, modifying exercises when someone is having a bad day, embracing telehealth when your patients are unable to come to the clinic, or completely shifting your work to get the job done. Remember, your white coat is not a symbol of rigidity. It is a symbol of readiness, meeting change with competence and confidence. Reflection 3, be empathetic. At its core, physical therapy is about movement, but more deeply, it is about humanity. As PTs, we have the privilege of time with our patients. We hear their stories, funny, painful, personal, and historical. I see this time as a gift. It allows us to learn not just our patient's goal, but often their why. Remember, your patients won't remember every set or repetition, but they will remember how you made them feel. They will remember if you listened. They will remember if you saw them as more than a diagnosis. They will remember if you treated them with dignity when they felt vulnerable. Empathy is awareness, is noticing what matters to someone: the soccer game, the grandchild, the return to work, or the chance to live independently again. Remember, behind every stroke is a person. Behind every ACL tear is a story. Behind the hospitalized patient is a family. Your white coat is your empathetic shield. Reflection number 4, create your own path. There is no single template for a successful PT career. Some of you will pursue residencies or fellowships. Some will work in hospitals, private practice, schools, or home health. Some of you will go into research, academia, leadership, policy, or entrepreneurship. Some of you will be the best staff therapists we'll ever meet. Creating your own path takes courage. It requires stepping into rooms where you may not see many who look like you or share your journey. It requires trusting that every success and setback is shaping you into the clinician and the person you will become. Do not let comparison steal your confidence. Your classmates' path is theirs. Celebrate it with them. Learn from it, but do not measure your worth from someone else's timeline. Your career is not a race. It is a journey of impact. Allow your white coat to serve as your pathfinder. And reflection number 5, remember your why. I've had to go back to mine many days when it's very difficult in the clinic or in my leadership office. You think back to the moment that sparked your call to physical therapy. Was it an injury that introduced you to a therapist who changed your life? Was it a fascination with biomechanics? Was it a desire to help people regain independence? Was it seeing someone take their first steps after illness or injury? Hold on to that moment, because there will be long days, as you've probably had already. There will be documentation that feels endless, There will be insurance challenges, productivity pressures, hard clinical instructors, and moments where you question your impact. When that happens, return to your why. Return to that patient who walked again because you didn't give up. Return to the athlete who returned to sports safely. Return to the older adult who gained confidence and independence. And one of my favorites, return to the belly laugh you shared with a patient on a tough day. The white coat is not a finish line. It is just your beginning. So today, when you put on that white coat, feel its weight, not as pressure, but as purpose. You are entering a profession that restores movement, yes, but it also restores hope. You will empower people to return to work, to family, to sport, and to life. You will translate science into healing. You will translate fear into progress. My journey has taken me from Atlanta to Athens to Chicago and back to Atlanta again. From classroom to clinic, from student to therapist to leader. Transitions have shaped me, and they will also shape you. And today, you step into one of the most meaningful transitions of your lives. To the families and friends here today, thank you. Your support helped make this moment possible. And to students, these students will still need you, as there are many long days and nights ahead. And to the class of 2028, I am proud of you. Our profession needs you. Remember, your curiosity will advance it. Your adaptability will strengthen it. Your empathy will humanize it. Your path will take you to great places, and your why will sustain you. When you wear your white coat, wear it with humility, with integrity, and with courage. Wherever your journey takes you, from familiar places to new cities, from comfort to challenge, step forward boldly and have a little fun along the way. The world needs movement, the world needs compassion, and the world needs you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Paul, for those inspiring remarks. We are humbled to call you a colleague and grateful for your continued support of Emory's physical therapy program. Now we come to the part of the ceremony you have been eagerly awaiting, and that is the presentation of the white coats. I will be assisted in this process by my faculty colleagues, Dr. Ben Rogozensky, Peter Sprague, and DeAndrea Melvey. We would like 1 to 2 family members or significant persons in the student's life to have the honor of presenting the white coat. The process will work as follows. Dr. Rogozensky will request each row of students to stand and line up in the aisle. Students will follow Dr. Melvey to line up, and their family members should make their way over to pair up with their student on this side of the chapel. Dr. Rogozensky will call the name of the student in alphabetical order according to how they appear in your program. The student and guest should walk across the very center of the stage where Dr. Folk and I will be standing, and the parent can help put the coat on their student. As the student pair exit, they will stop at the far end of the stage, so our photographer can take a picture we will present to you as a gift from our program. The way family members don't have to rush up to take pictures, and I would now like to invite Dr. Rogozensky to guide these proceedings.
Good morning. Good morning. So before we get started, I would like to thank Miss Ella Pollard. Miss Ella Pollard works really, really hard to organize a very special day that we can celebrate you guys. So again, Miss Pollard, thank you. You know, today we are also hosting our open house. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but a year ago today, most of you attended that open house. So today, we are welcoming the class of 2029, which is kind of crazy. You guys are getting old. So I want you, and the white coat is a symbol, right, of a transition of moving forward. But before you do that, I would encourage you to think back 1 year ago today. Think about the excitement that you had, maybe some of the trepidation that you were experiencing. Think about all the challenges that you've had, the obstacles that you've overcome, right? And think back and remember why you're here, right? And then we're going to celebrate this, and I want you to think about this code as not as much of a transition of moving forward, but let's celebrate what you've accomplished. And then get excited about the next 5 semesters. Get excited about it. Because the next time we call your name and you walk up here, you're going to be wearing something just a little bit fancier. So get excited about that. With that said, I'd like to invite the first row students to line up and their associated family members to join them. Kurt Adams. Alexi Armour. Hannah Bailey. Abigail Brenowitz. Hannah Brett. Andrea Bowie. Emma Burnley. Sarah Burns. Emily Chen. Hain Cho. Okira Coleman. Kira Connolly. Youngjo And now I'd like the second row of students to please stand up, line up, and I'd invite the associated family members to join them as well. Claire Evans. Mackenzie Fox. Kennedy Graves. Lillian Groves. Nicholas Gutierrez. Andrew Harris. Lindsay Hadjic. Rachel Hebblethwaite. Maya Hershkowitz. Adriana Hoshberg. Isaiah Eisenhower. Amara Jackson. Yunsub Kim. The next row of students, please rise. And I'd like to invite the associated family members to join them. Taylor Kimball. Sarah Lainez. Michael Lambert. Caroline Langston. Stephanie Liao. Minoru Liao. Hungi Leo. Jishwen Leo. Emily Mon. Samantha McGurl. Rebecca Moravik. Phoenix Moy. Soonsung Pak. Right. I'd like to ask our final row to please stand and line up. Shreya Patel. Jayla Pickens. Adam Quintanilla. Marissa Rogers. Kayla Rowell. Michaela Rowland. Evan Tangway. Yuqian Wong. Sydney Ward. Diavion Williams. Michelle Zhang. Zai Zhu. So we spent a lot of time together in our first semester, and I know quite well how hard you have worked up until this point. It's always my great pleasure, right, to be here and celebrating this with you, and it's always my pleasure to be the first to congratulate you on your white coat. Congratulations.
Congratulations again to the class of 2028 and your family and friends. As Dr. Rogo alluded to, we look forward to the next time that we'll get to call out your names in May of 2028, when that's the real big ceremony. And also thank you for Carmen for your great words of wisdom. Really appreciate you stepping out of your comfort zone and lending that to our students. As faculty and students know, our clinical education partners are an integral part of our program, and it would not be possible without our collaboration and their support. Next, I'd like to introduce our directors of clinical education, Drs. Deandra Melvi and Leona Hidalgo, to present two very important clinical education awards.
Okay, good morning, everyone. And first, congratulations to our students on receiving your white coats today. Y'all look good. This milestone represents your hard work, your growth, and your commitment to becoming compassionate and skilled PTs. We are so proud of you. It is now my honor to present the Outstanding Clinical Instructor Award to Dr. Keely Collins. Dr. Collins exemplifies what it means to be an engaged and dedicated clinical educator. She has welcomed multiple students into her clinic with enthusiasm, mentorship, and high expectations to foster growth. Beyond clinical instruction, she actively contributes to our continuing education courses and remains deeply involved in the DPT program. Her investment in our students extends beyond required responsibilities. She shows up, she pours in, and she partners with us in shaping the next generation of PTs. Dr. Collins, thank you for your commitment to excellence in clinical education. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Keely Collins.
Good morning. It is my privilege to present the Outstanding Clinical Partner Award to Emory University Hospital. Emory University Hospital has demonstrated an exceptional commitment to clinical education. They have consistently welcomed our students and over time have expanded their clinical partnership and increased their investment in the DPT program. Our students speak highly of their experiences at EUH, citing strong mentorship, meaningful learning opportunities, and a supportive clinical environment. That kind of impact does not happen by accident. It reflects a culture that values teaching, collaboration, and the development of future physical therapists. We are deeply grateful for this partnership and proud to recognize Emory University Hospital for their continued dedication to our students in our program. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Liz Green-Sawyers, the site coordinator for Emory University Hospital.
DPT students, you should be proud of all that you've accomplished up to this point in your journey and celebrate your accomplishments on this important day. However, it's important to reflect on the meaning of the white coat and the obligations that it brings to each of you. Ms. Paul has provided us as an inspirational example of our obligations as doctors of physical therapy. The white coat symbolizes our commitment to the well-being of the patients that we work closely with. As healthcare professionals, there will be times where you will have to place the needs of your patients above those of your own. This is not an easy obligation to fulfill and should not be taken lightly. To remind us of our professional duties, I would like the students, the faculty, and other physical therapists in the audience to please stand. Together, we will recite the principles of the APTA Code of Ethics listed on the back page of your program. These principles will guide you as you practice the art and science of physical therapy. Please recite along with me, starting with Principle 1. Physical therapists shall respect the inherent dignity and rights of all individuals. Physical therapists shall be trustworthy and compassionate in addressing the rights and needs of patients, clients. Physical therapists shall be accountable for making sound professional judgments. Physical therapists shall demonstrate integrity in their relationships with patients, clients, families, colleagues, students, research participants, other healthcare providers, employers, payers, and the public. Physical therapists shall fulfill their legal and professional obligations. Physical therapists shall enhance their expertise through the lifelong acquisition and refinement of knowledge, skills, abilities, and professional behaviors. Physical therapists shall promote organizational behaviors and business practices that benefit patients and clients and society. Physical therapists shall participate in efforts to meet the health needs of people locally, nationally, or globally. Thank you. Please be seated. Again, I'd like to congratulate the class of 2028 on their white coat ceremony today, and thank you for all of the families, colleagues, friends that are here today to celebrate with us. Finally, we will recess in order, beginning with the stage party, followed by the faculty, students, and then friends and family. We would like the students to first assemble on the steps outside the building to take a class picture in your white coats. Congratulations to you all on this important professional milestone. We are very proud of you.